good afternoon, good evening, good day, depending on where you are in the world today. I'm Shannon Johnson, for those of you first joining, and today's session is Energy Healers Integrate. Good morning, October. Yeah, it's still morning for you. So today we're going to talk about different types of alternative therapies and integrating them, as well as some of the other forms of energy healing that, yeah, morning for you, afternoon for me. We're going to get into some of the other parts of energy healing and how to integrate some of it. So, some information may end up getting channeled. Some might just be me. I really don't know. I wing it. So, there are so many forms of healing that are separate, that have been around forever. I even printed out my glossary. But there are literally so many ways of healing work that you can integrate into anything that you're doing. So that's one of the challenges going on with all the muck that's happening, and what a lot of us came to bring fresh aspects to is being able to work with energy in different ways than we used to. Many of us are completing. Good morning, Kim. We're completing a cycle of lifetimes that are all related to this type of work. So it might, and you don't really need to know what those past lives were. If you're diving into them, fantastic. If not, you don't, it's not necessary, but it is one of the ways that you can tap into previous vaults of information. Kind of more like a vault in a spiritual aspect would be more like a energetic geode, little storage bin that that you set up before you came to be able to access. And the challenges we're going through is allowing us to take lots of various modalities and begin to integrate them rather than staying strict to the books and teaching, but actually integrating modalities, integrating various lifetime knowledge packs, little geodes, and unpacking those. You don't even have to unpack them, it's just accessing them and then integrating those into the different types of work you wanted to use. So, like I know October and Kim, one does writing, one does herbal work, and yet, even though that seems like such closed pockets of types of energy work, can actually be unpacked into other forms. Because energy, right? Energy, you can't destroy it. You can only transform it, transmute it, change it, distort it, right? So there's all these different facets that you can do. Good morning, Anna. And This is where we can really expand a lot of our knowledge and our abilities in what we're doing. So find your passion, of course, as far as if you're any type of energy work, healing modalities, whether it be plant-based, animal-based, earth-based, people-based, it doesn't matter because everything has threads of connection in the energy. So one of the things is looking at different modalities that have already existed and how some of these can actually integrate into a different format. So a couple of these, I'm going to read off some of the titles because some people have no clue that these are actual modalities and that there's actual work out there. Some of them we all know about, and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, I already know about that. Don't want to study it. But you don't need to study. It's really about tapping into the storage banks. Good morning, Aurora. So there's acupressure, acupuncture, the Alexander technique. Now, that one is really cool. I'll talk about that one later. Anthroposophic. That's a mouthful. It's developed by a philosopher and mystic Rudolf Steiner back in the late 1800s. Applied kinesiology, aromatherapy, flower essences. Good morning, Doug. A verdict, bioenergetics, biofeedback, body-oriented psychotherapy, breath work. If you haven't started studying breath work, telling you, look into it. There's all kinds of different breath work modalities, and we'll get into talking about some of that. But it's a huge factor in the physical well-being of our physical body. We've got chelation. Chelation I'm not really wild about. It's kind of, doesn't do much. You've got Chinese medicine, chiropractic, colon, craniosacral, deep tissue, energy field work. Energy field work. Feldenkrais, which is the awareness through movement, Feng Shui, focusing, Heller work, herbalism, Camberry, holistic dentistry. Did you know that there was holistic dentistry out there? These things have been around for a long time. You've got holistic medicine, holistic nursing, homeopathy, hypnotherapy, iridology, which is through the eyes. That one's a really intense thing, but Jinshin Jujitsu, macrobiotics, meditation, muscular therapy, myofascial release, manual lymph drainage, naturopathic, neuromuscular, Ohio Shiatsu, which is really called a lot of times Shiatsu. Ortho Binomany, yeah. Osteopathic, past life regression, I'm telling you, babies. Oh, that one been going on. That one doesn't tell me. Let's see. Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapy. Now that's a cool one. It's a very specific type of yoga. Pilates, polarity therapy, Qigong, reflexology, Reiki, Rolfing, Rosen method, Rubenfeld synergy, Shen therapy, Shiatsu, Soma neuromuscular. I have a kitty who is helping me with the pages. Spiritual and shamanic healing, structural integration, Swedish, Tai Chi, therapeutic touch, touch for health, Traeger, trigger point, Watsu, yoga, zero balancing, And pet therapy, yes. So, good morning, Radha. Afternoon, Radha. So, I bring these up because, I mean, obviously, there's a huge list, and these are modalities that most of us have been using in previous lifetimes that we have the geode knowledge, the little geodes, geopats, that we can access this. Most of them have been around for over 6,000 years. I'm going to toss this off to the side because now we're going to get into some meat. So here's the thing. Here we are in this huge dynamic going on as a collective worldwide. Not everybody is paying attention to the energy of us, of the energy grid of the world. He's made a bed out of my papers. I have to show you because you're going to laugh. There he is, Mr. Artie. He loves doing sessions. So we're going to tell you that, you know, you don't have to go out and get all these certifications. Some areas, yes. Some areas you need to be able to have a more grounding point of base knowledge to assist you. And then it just seems like the more that you unpack it, the more that geode of knowledge just starts to seep in. So he's tearing it up. So integrating modalities, integrating past life knowledge of various forms of healer work into what you're doing now. And I've been finding this myself every time, you know, I'm a medium, I'm a healer, and I'm finding more and more bigger challenges keep presenting themselves. And I'm kind of going, okay, well, you know, I can't just do Reiki for this, or I can't just do a reading for that. I need to start pulling pieces from all the different knowledge banks, right? Our little packets, our little geo packets of knowledge, and start integrating various forms in order to assist clients, right? So for instance, I have a large vat of lives as a witch, working with energy, working with intent, working with herbs. And in that, there's a lot of information there that works in today's world. You just have to take it, unpack it, go, okay, let's like take all the religion side out of it because it's no longer being utilized as a belief system. That's one of the difference. Are you utilizing it as a belief system, or are you utilizing it as a tool in your tool bag? So, you know, you take this piece and you're like, okay, I can use this piece. And then going into physical modalities, all right, needing to pull it in and go, okay, how can I integrate a physical modality with past modalities and now flip it around, right? Because you're not taking the belief systems anymore, you're just taking the tools of it. Even shamanic work, right? Shamanic has a belief system. And there's a lot of us that have shaman past lives that are doing the energy healing now. Well, you're not wanting to take the belief system of it, you're kind of taking the package of tools instead, right? So you can shamanic journey and actually out-of-body travel. I could go way off the rails, I know. People are going to be like, you're a fucking nut. But you can take those tools, you can put it together, integrate it, out of body travel, and work completely within an energetic realm for land cleansings, people, healing energy on people, helping to resolve situations, healing not only current issues, but all linked to other lifetimes, past and present and future and parallel, the whole shebang. I'm hearing a lot of laughter in my head. Also, don't be afraid of integrating your modality with another person, another healer, right? So knowing if you have a client that comes to you, or you know somebody, a friend, family member, whoever, doesn't really matter, and you're recognizing the hot spots, right? Some of them are emotional, some of them are physical, some of them are mental, some of them are spiritual, some of them are past life. But you're recognizing the links. And when you can recognize the links, that allows you to see how to help them to unpack an energy that's still lingering and transform it. Because once it's acknowledged, then the energy is able to shift. You're not wanting to manipulate anybody, but you can help them to manipulate the energy of the thought pattern, the belief system, the memory, the whatever it is, by seeing those hot spots. So for someone, I'm going to use Kim's work for an example. I'm also going to get into some regression pieces as well. So for instance, herbalism. Let's talk a little bit about herbalism, because I know it doesn't. Every plant has a consciousness that's linked as a collective, right? So it's got a particular energy to it. Besides its healing abilities, it also has a conscious awareness of its energetic attributes. I'm going to start drifting. You can tell it already. So when you have someone who is, let's just use their health is poor. Okay, but you know it's not just the physical health that's poor. There are other attributes because of how all four bodies are linked, right? So now you can go, okay, this plant, right? Plant A will impact the physical attribute, the symptom, right? That's its base. That's the plant base energy ability. Now, when you're making their concoction, right? Because they're not going to just go pick the plant needed, right? So when you're making their concoction, their formula, as the practitioner, you have the ability to amplify the plant's ability, right? By using your focus and your intent. So you can amplify it, you can add to it. You can add to the energy of that matrix through the intent. So if you're aware of Reiki, you don't have to be a Reiki practitioner. You don't have to have the attunements, but you're aware of how that modality works, right? The awareness, unpacking it, connecting into that previous knowledge. So now you can infuse this concoction with a healing ray, of energy, of intent that will impact the emotional and the mental layers. If you know they're feeling very disconnected from the universe, perhaps, they don't feel that type of connection, you can infuse that into your concoction as well for the plant to help assist on a cellular level to increase that energy of connection. You can do this with food that you make. You can do for your family, right? You're cooking or you're baking or whatever those things are, and you want to bring more of a wholeness into the preparation. And it's going to mesh and infuse on a cellular level. That's one of the things that's changing with all the various modalities of healing, is that it's no longer going to be on the surface, but that's also part of what we as healers, whether you're energy healer, a physical healer, a mental healer, an earth healer, a matrix healer, it doesn't matter. And it's to begin infusing the intent of the energy, amplifying it, so that then it's going into cellular and DNA levels. Okay, because a lot of us have heard about the DNA changes or cellular changes. Soul energy is integrated into every cell of the body. Every little bit of this, right? It's the powerhouse. Powerhouse that's connected into your nervous system, which sparks everything, right? So if you're taking a living I hate when the words start. And I know I turned the phone off. I really did. I really, really did. I turned off the freaking ringers. And I'm going to turn it off again. You know, this phone system's got some fucked up shit, because it, like, if you can turn it all the way off, because I'm so freaking ancient over here, the way technology. And then when you get a call, yes, see, ancient technology. Yep, no cell phone at this house for this girl. Anyway, I'd probably blow this shit up, so it's all right. Okay. Oh. Anyway, we were talking plants. I love your comment, Ken. Yeah, they will. They'll start doing that more and more if you're integrating those. So a lot of us are now getting the challenges of changing the way we approach the work. And for those just starting to tap into it, don't be afraid of the challenges that come along, because we're in a period where we're getting into taking the old knowledge and expanding it into new directions and expanded directions. So it's no longer going to be just a straight line. It's going to end up being more packaged. So I don't know where I was going with that. That damn phone call kind of blew me out of my zone. Breath work. I wanted to get into breath work, because breath work and energy work should be hand in hand. No matter what modality you're using, whether it's artwork, reading, doing reading, mediumship, writing, connecting with nature, connecting with plants, doing healing touch, doing massage work, doing any of these things, we're now getting into the challenge of taking it beyond the limitations. Thank you for that word. We're taking it beyond the limitations. We're the ones that limited it, and we're the ones that get to unlimit it. So breath work, okay, the physical human body, of course, we need oxygen to breathe, to live, because breath is life and non-life, okay? Disease does not like oxygen in the body, period. Doesn't like it, hates it, it kills it. But we've gotten into such a chaotic external bombardment that a lot of us are breathing very shallow. We're only using about half of our lung capacity. And for those of you that work with clients on a regular basis or interact with a lot of people, and it can be online as well, it can be distant, notice that your breath, you're still only doing about half your lungs, okay? And one of the messages that I've been getting a lot is about approaching breath work, in particular with energy healers, because we're not filling our own cells deep enough and regularly enough to be able to go into the next levels of the work that we are able to do. So it doesn't mean that, okay, I need to go and learn how to do this. But with every modality, right, you as the practitioner, in whatever form that you're using your energy healing attribute, need to add this back in as far as assisting yourself, and it's going to empower your work in a different way. One of the visuals that I'm getting at the moment is how we breathe very shallow in our nose and our mouth, and they're going, 95% of us are not taking it into ourselves in the depth of our own energetic body. Me included, guilty. So one of the things they're mentioning is when you're getting ready to do any type of work. This can be your professional business work. This can be your energy work. This can be your painting, your writing, your readings, whatever your modalities are. When you go to sit down in front of it, take a moment, and we all know about deep breathing, but you really want to be belly breathing, okay? And there's a difference. And I know a lot of us women, we taught ourselves to breathe so that we're sucking the belly in and keeping it looking like it's but the more attention we can get to the breath will change the energy that we're actually working with and putting out. So one of the techniques, and some of you that know yoga would know this, or qigong, there's also that within the martial arts area about the breath. So it's really using your nose, mouth closed, bringing it in through the nose till the belly, till you have a Buddha belly. Make yourself feel like you have a Buddha belly, and then don't just slowly exhale it out. And if you do that a couple of times, you're going to notice an energy shift in your body where it's kind of like, ooh, okay, now we're more centered, and it ends up bringing the energy into a different collective to channel out into whatever work you're doing. So when you're having a lot of bringing up a good one, you got to go to a meeting. Everybody hates meetings. They're boring. They can be challenging. They can be interactive. But overall, they're not exactly something fun that you want to do in your corporate day. Before you go to the meeting, do a couple Buddha breaths. And I'm calling them Buddha breaths just because the belly, you want to push it out like a Buddha belly. And you'll end up finding that the way your energy works within the room and those around you is going to shift. Because you just shifted it in your physical essence into a cellular level. And now the way that your energy is projecting out has a cleaner wave of movement. Cleaner wave of movement. I like that. Because if you know, like if you ever had a client come or you have somebody you're doing a piece of artwork for, or that you've been having interactions with and it just doesn't seem to be functioning properly, reset your own personal energetic essence through breath, and it's going to shift the way that the two-way receivers are going. So integrating more facets for situations. Just because you're having to go into an office doesn't mean you can't use the same tools within that office setting without anybody else actually being aware of it. The more the energy healers begin to integrate their work, integrate in their own internal I'm going to use layers because you guys are showing me like too many options over there. You're not only going to be having a greater impact in assisting your clientele, your business, your home life, but it's actually going to begin to alter in cellular form of your own body. And the more that you can have the I can't pronounce that word. Oh, God, you guys are taking me someplace else. Okay, so the more that you can integrate it in yourself, and it begins to integrate into the cellular levels, impacting and energizing soul molecules. We're going up. It's actually going to end up reaching into the microtubules of the brain and into all the little packets of energetic information that your soul brought with you. It makes them accessible. That's really good. I wrote about microtubules before. It's been a couple years, and it was one of those really weird things. That's why it's kind of like, okay, we're going off in the the reason why the microtubules of the brain receiving this on an energetic level is because then it goes to the neurotransmitters throughout the body and the nervous system that the soul energy is interconnected to, and back out into its functions. Oh, that's a trip. I wish I could like take a snapshot of the picture in my head and post it because it would look so cool. But because they're showing it to me like, yeah, here you guys are doing something so simple, and it goes into this layer, up to this layer, there, and then whoosh, there all goes into the muscles. And although I'd say seeing some of the inside of the body is a little creepy and ugly, so you know. One of the other things that's going on is And I already touched on this a little bit about the unpacking those knowledge packets from past previous lives in which we've been doing this type of work in different forms. Because it's not just shifting the energy when we're accessing it. It's not just shifting the energy in the current dynamic that we're working in. It's also going through those collective energetic cords to those time periods and those past selves as well, where they have the belief system, and in this one, you're not using the belief system. So don't be afraid of the challenges when they present them, because every challenge and every challenging client that is being brought to you is there to assist you in going beyond the textbook to your packets. And this is where regression work can be taken to another level. Past life regression, hypnosis therapy, life between lives, QHHT, quantum healing. Okay. I know a lot of regressionists are sticking to their textbook teaching. And it's got a great value as far as the base, but each one of you is going to start to get challenged in order of integrating other pieces, because not every client is able to answer or connect in those ways. So where you're trying to guide them to a past life that's related to a trauma, you may end up needing to move in different directions and actually zigzag them there. That makes sense. And don't be afraid of your own power, because you have the ability to crack. Show me eggs, cracking the eggs in a different way. Some people you're going to need to bridge them around the past life. Have you thought of that? Not go into the life so much, as instead start bridging them over to a guide. I hope that didn't get picked up by the microphone. Anyway, my dog farted on the other side of the screen. Anyway, so you might not, they may be struggling in order to see a past life. So instead, you're going to want to zigzag them over here to a guide or to a past loved one that can come in and talk to them, right? So they get that connection, and you're like, okay, we're safe. You can, don't be afraid to ask the healers in spirit to also step forward, because one will usually show up. It'll be whoever the person needs, but one will show up. And you can go ahead and start to facilitate a base energetic healing to then loop them into a past life. And it'll be less traumatic for them to view, because that's what was keeping them held back. But now you can kind of swerve them around and bring them back in a different direction. It's kind of cool. You can infuse Reiki in your voice. Have you thought of that? Infusing the energetic, universal source healing energy that we all term as Reiki, you can infuse it in your voice when you're regressing someone, when you're talking to someone. So that's something that's out there that probably a lot of us didn't realize, that all it is changing the channel of energy that you're utilizing in the throat chakra. Hi, Chan. Does that make sense? You're utilizing Reiki energy, universal energy, in as a channel through the throat chakra, so that as you speak to them, healing energy is being transferred through the voice. And you know, they'll notice it, even though they're focused on the words, but they're not going to notice it. They won't notice it from the words, they'll notice the energy from you talking to them. So don't be afraid of this. If you have throat chakra issues, I'm a big person with that. I admit my faults. So clearing this, even if you've got emotional trauma of your own, right, that you're still working on, okay, you can shift the trauma back away from the throat chakra and allow the channel to be fused with your voice and transfer healing that way. And it works. If you trust and believe in the energy, and I'm going to say that again, trust and believe in the energy. Not saying have a belief system in this or have a belief system in that, because I'm a big person that like bursts through every belief system. I don't like belief systems, just fuck that shit. I don't want the structure. I want to be free flowing with the soul and cosmic energy that is here and tangible. And that's just me, okay? That's me. But for many energy healers, we're finding that we keep getting these stuck points. And that's where part of it is because we look at it and go, but when I took the class, or when I studied in this book, or when I did my certification, these are the limitations and guidelines that are the only way that it's supposed to work. And I'm going to tell you right now, we are blowing that shit out. That's leaving. That's going away. It's now time to begin to take all of the tools and begin to tap and tap and tap and tap. And all those little geo packets that we stored and said, this is my luggage. I'm going on my incarnation, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to knock this shit out. It's time to start tapping on it. It's time to start bringing it forward and utilizing it all in different ways. Energy lives and glows between our hands, in our bodies, in every movement. I'm in a huge room that's 32 by 32. And if you think about it, this large of a room, I got furniture, I got shit on the walls, But the space, 95% of that space is filled with the other dimensions, and energy is just flowing back and forth. So it's accessible, it's tangible. You can touch it. You have a massage client come in, for those that are massage therapists. You know, a massage client come in, they're wanting you to fluff and buff their troubles away. I just want to lay here and relax. And yet, you're standing there going, whew, what the fuck just hit me upside the head? Man, this is going to be interesting. Change your approach to the client. Okay? Client is wanting fluff and buff. You got that shit. That's an easy piece of the physicality. Easy. But you have access to energetic layers. You personally have access to universal energetic healing. Okay? Because you're going to, those who have been in practice for a while probably know this. You get that one client that's just like, I just want to feel good. And yet inside they got so much crap going on, and you go in and you work on them, and then they leave, and you like 2 or 3 clients later, and you're going, oh my God, I feel like somebody beat the fuck out of me. That person over there, you absorbed a lot of that muck as you were working on them and making them feel good and everything, and you forgot that you need to be your own channel and be processing it through and releasing it out. And before you started working on that client, when you were getting those signals, you needed to stop and listen and change the approach, the energetic approach of the work that you were doing. As far as the client knows, they got the greatest fluff and buff they've ever had. Or it might be deep tissue work, but a lot of deep tissue work. But when you changed the energetic approach and shifted from every stroke is going into that cellular level, and you're using universal channeled energy to shift it, right? Don't forget, you're pulling the muck back off, and you need to shift and channel that out through your feet back to earth, back to source, whoever you want to take it, and shift it so that way it goes back to the collective, and those particles can then be utilized in whatever way they want to be utilized. Or the reclamators can come and take that shit away, whoever you want to diss it off to. So energy healers integrating is challenging the individuals to change your approach, begin to access more information, knowledge, and realms, and bringing those in, because every client is going to need something that's different. It's going to need something that's more challenging to you. And don't be afraid, because you're not limited. You're only limited by the belief that you're limited. So I've been yabbering for like an hour. And I want to open it up to questions. Healing is going to be a series. I keep being told it's going to be a series of these sessions to help those that are beginning to shift and bring these things in So don't feel like the information is just getting handed out to you and then you gotta go figure shit out. Because we're gonna do a Q&A, just a straight up Q&A coming up. And we're gonna be doing a trance channeling coming up as well. I gotta figure something out with the Facebook Live because with everybody's schedules being busy, I don't trance channel when I'm by myself, other than when I'm working with my counterpart for the books. But I just saw on Facebook Live that I might be able to do a split screen, so I might be able to bring Matt in and have him do the interviewing and doing the questions with you guys. How much stuff is brought from past lives? How do we know if bad energy is from past lives? Good question, Pat. So I'm gonna kind of blow this up because we as humans love to see the word karma. And karma is our own human interpretation of a form of punishment and repayment or, debt. So in life planning, this is really where it comes from, okay? When we do our life planning, and I'm going to put this in a very linear time frame, okay? So for those that are going, but there's no time and all lives, okay, let's set that aside, all right? Because right now we're human and we're in a linear timeline, and let's look at it from that approach, all right? So when we look at life planning, we look at the other incarnations that we have going or have completed, however you want to term it. And you're looking at emotional and energetic challenges, okay? So you might be looking at, gosh, I was really trying to work on deeper interconnected family relationships. All right, let's try that one. All right. And so you're looking in your Akash, and you might have an Akash advisor working with you to help you to view, okay? And you're looking at these other lives and you're going, God, as a mother in that one, I really couldn't connect to my 5 children. I could only connect to one. I had a lot of traumas that I was bringing back in, from that life, and motherhood, and all of these things just weren't functioning very well. So, and then I did it as a dad, and didn't go so well. I mean, they're all good. As far as at home, we see them all as valuable. And so then you go, okay, well, this time I'm going to narrow it down. And where I was a bad father, I wasn't a very good, functional, emotionally bonding father in that lifetime. One of my children, perhaps, I want to incarnate again with this one because this is the one I struggled with the most. We really couldn't connect, okay? Because of the type of personality that this one chose to be my challenger, I want to flip it. And I'm going to ask that person if they'll take the role of now being my parent, so that now I can learn it from a different perspective. And instead, maybe now, instead of being in a family of 5, I'm going to be an only child. So I really have to work at making those interconnected family type relationships. And the person who was my challenger before, when I was the parent, is now the parent and going to be my adversary, where the two of us have to work through what's here to find our common ground in becoming a fluid interaction, right? We ask our adversaries. Isn't that fucked up? That's like one of the hardest ones to like grab onto. It's when you're going, but I really hate that person. Oh my God, they fucked my life up so bad. You know, every memory I want is just, yeah, we pick our adversaries. We ask her, and we're an adversary for everybody else. So when we're looking in the life planning, we're looking at all of those lifetimes that might be still kind of, we're going, yeah, it's working, but I'm not quite satisfied with how it's working. And we'll add those pieces in. And we may even ask some of the same souls to play roles again in another capacity to bring the challenge forward again, and us to find a new directive in how we approach it. Did that answer your question? So it's not so much that, you know, bad past lives or bad things we did, because on a soul level, and I know that's a tough one, as a soul level, we don't see the lives as good and bad. We see them as, wow, hey, you went out and did it. You can speed up karma. That's the tough spot, because karma is a belief system we as humans utilize to cope and create energy. So if we believe someone deserves karma, that payback, we have now just created that intent. We have now created that energetic wave. And the more that we focus on it, the more that we're creating it, the more that we're sending it. But karma is not something that we utilize in our life planning, because it doesn't exist in the way a soul approaches the lessons in the life. Does that make it more? We love to use the word karma. I love to use the word. I even had a dog named Karma. My daughter's dog was Karma. But karma is actually ours. It is a word that we as humans utilize, and it is how we create and manifest an energy towards others. And it can revert back on us. So, like, literally, it's like, oh, I really hope karma comes and bites him in the ass one day. I've now just created it. But bear in mind, that's only here. That energy loop is here. And I'm also not only the creator of it, I am now a participant of it. Because that's what I've sent as an intent towards that other person. But in life planning, we look at more how can we expand in our experiences beyond, outside of the context of unconditional love. How can we challenge ourselves in learning everything that is a part of, but not accessible? So it's not a karmic debt. It's about finding, you're just choosing a different role to learn and experience different adversarial scenarios for your own learning expansion. Because there's no debt, there's no judgment, there's no repayment, there's no, oh, you are so bad in that lifetime, you made so much karma. No. They look at you and go, well, what do you think? Let's look at it. Okay, now how do you want to change what you were trying to learn? What role do you want to try to experience it from this time, which is going to bring you different experiences to allow your soul's growth? So it's hard because here we really want to believe in the justification. Did that make more sense, Pat? If anybody else has a question, throw it out there. We got just a little bit more time. Awesome. Yeah, the book that it's in the editing process. We did, Matt and I did 22 trance channeling sessions with the soul contract lawyers. We got rid of the term lawyer though, because I told them that people don't like lawyers here. They ain't got a good rep. But they're soul contract advisors. They keep the timelines in order. And so we got into all that life planning experiences and information, and especially adversaries. And one of the things I really walked away with for myself, and I can't wait for, I don't know, it'll probably be another year before it'll be released. But one of the big things for myself was understanding that piece about karma, that it really is our own human creation. And being able to let that go helped a lot. But with that became the awareness that I am the co-creator with everyone I interact with. And not everyone is going to be a positive interaction, because I am also someone's adversary. Just as I have adversaries, but I'm also an adversary for some others. And that's a tough one, because we all as humans, we want to be liked. We want to be loved. I'm always the nice girl. Everybody loves me. Yeah. That's not the reality. The reality is you are another co-creator, just like everyone else around you. You're an adversary for some, and some are adversaries for you. And that's where we really need to go. All right, I can hang with that. I'm co-creating here. Nobody handed me a script. They gave me an outline. They gave me an outline. They gave you an outline. You gave yourself an outline. That's a hard pill to swallow. We gave ourselves this outline, and we are to utilize it we have the ability to utilize that outline in any form we choose. So where is it? Oh well. Anyway, any other questions? Now, I rambled off a whole list of, in the beginning of the video, of different types of healing modalities. And in my first video at the beginning of the month, the October 3rd one, check it out if you didn't, because you may be a healer or utilizing healing energy that you're not aware of. And now you're going to start getting, as things begin to fluctuate in grander scales, we'll use it that way, even for your own daily coping, you're going to find that you're going to need to be integrating modalities, integrating with other healers, integrating with other energy workers, integrating with other people. I wanted people, but that's not quite what I wanted. Oh, shoot, before I go, I need to bring this up because I just bopped me on the head for it. Energy healers integrating. There's another challenge going on. A lot of us are looking in our local communities to connect with others. Okay? A lot of us are looking in our local communities for meditation groups, for drumming circles, for nature walkers, for the list goes on, really. I mean, it just keeps going, okay? If you can't find it in your community, be the one to initiate it. Don't be afraid. So if you're looking for a meditation group and you can't find one in your community because you're wanting something a little more personal and a little more direct, then I see your questions, Doug, and we're going to get to that. Initiate it. Bring it in yourself. And it doesn't need to be 20 people. If you get 2 friends to join you, you have 2 more people than you were meditating with before. If you're drumming circles, painting groups, writing circles, that's a new one on me, a writing circle. That's cool. They showed me a picture of like 4 or 5 people And you go, okay. You know, you've seen it on Facebook where, you know, you start the first line, but they're like, no, take it a deeper level, write a paragraph. Have the next person add a paragraph. And you rotate who initiates the initial one and see how you can end up pulling and pooling energy together. Now, expand things. So Doug asks, this has been depression seems kind of rampant these days. Suggestions on how to be more aware. Oh, depression is big right now. Have you noticed? It's like this great big. One of the big factors, like a couple factors as far as why the depression is more rampant right now. Number one, the food we eat. Is that not insane? Literally, the food we eat is causing chemical imbalances in our physical form. That's one. That's a big one. Two, we are literally flushing the sewage system, the energetic system of the planet and of multiple thousands of years. Let's do 26,000 years worth of sewage that has built up, and it is just stinking shit. And what that does, especially to those of us that are aware, energetically sensing, sorry, Aurora, it's creating a depression in the energetic body that is carrying into the emotional body. So there's that factor that's happening to a lot of us. Third, many of us came here hitting the ground running, right? Especially our generations. We hit the ground running with our lessons. And a lot of people are not getting they're getting dosed. Let's give you a pill, throw this at you, let's throw that at you. Rather than addressing the energetic body, they're addressing only the mental stimulus that's over bombarding the emotional essence. It's literally drowning us. So these are being brought up, Doug, primarily to give us an awareness that depression is not a singular seed, that it's actually, you kind of have to like feel it out a little bit, depending on who you're talking to, who you're working with, on which keys are that link of the depression. With the global cleanse going on, things are really, really getting some heavy, deep traumas going back centuries that are being lifted up and out. And some of us are having depression due to those factors, where it doesn't register as far as, I'm depressed. I have nothing to be depressed about. I'm perfectly healthy. What the fuck? But realize that we are in a purge of centuries of energy stank that's being brought up and washed out, brought up and cleansed out, brought up and transformed, and brought up and things. So depression is a big one. And the more empathic, the more you open up your clairsentience, we have to be aware of doing our own purging over and over, our own cleansing over and over. It gets to where you can use the shower or water or anything like that, and help yourself with, and give that tool to other people. That, you know what, the more that you can help them pull into, this is right now. That's all you got in your hands. Let's focus on it and let's make it bloom versus rot. You can help them change the, energetic basic depression. Did that help, Doug? Or did I just ramble a bunch of horseshit? Yeah, you're right, Octo. We are doing that. And I think there's a big part of us that is on that sanitation team of, cleaning it out. But yeah, Doug, if you'd let me know if that helped or if you need to go someplace else with it. Awesome. So, today is October 24th. I cannot believe we're at this point already. Whew. Awesome, Aurora. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Let me know. So I'm going to look into how I can do a trance channeling without having to take up so much of my daughter's time. And yeah, Halloween coming up. My favorite time. Can people steal or live off of your energy? Yes, they can. Yep, they sure can. And they're like, a lot of us use the term energy vampires, Pat. But a lot of the times those people aren't even, some people are aware that they do it, but a lot of people are not aware that they do it. And here's the deal. When you've got someone who has been working at cleaning all their bag of shit, right? Because the more that we clean our emotional baggage to be more clear and authentic in who we are, doesn't mean the memories go away. We still got our bag of shit. It's just a little polished and cleaned up, right? But our frequency, our energy frequency, it's like goes up, right? Because we talk about raising our vibration. But I'm going to kind of toss that out the window for this conversation. When you're a person that carries a lot of higher volume, October, when you carry a larger volume of a higher frequency energy, people are attracted to it. It's kind of like the flight of the light, right? You get birds flying to the light. People connected to us, and for a spouse example, we often merge and bond our energy. Okay? And it's not always a bad thing. Okay, it's just part of our human nature. Those of us that know that we're doing this need to be aware of this, because this is how we end up going. Okay? It can deplete your energy. That's where you start getting to where you're always exhausted. And, this might make more sense. When you were pregnant, okay? For us women, a lot of times when we're pregnant, we go through these waves of having high energy, man. We can be booming everything out. And then it's like, whoosh, and you're like, oh my God, the baby is sucking every bit of energy I have out of my body. I can't even lift my hand. Okay. Same parallel can be with a spouse, a child, a friend, anybody that you have connected into a deeper level with can end up, right? Because they're feeling blue, or sometimes they're just not even aware they're doing it. It's just that state of their being. And because you live with them, that state of being that's going on. And their highs and lows are being pulled off you, and you feel like you're just, like every time you catch breath, you're needing another breath because you're breathing for two. Your energy is building for two. And it can be okay in short terms, right? Because I know I do it with my husband, and we do it back and forth. But one of the things we have to be aware of is that we can't end up allowing it to get to the point that they end up being the monkey on our back, and we're doing the energy of both, which is very difficult. And then we're like, get over there, go sit on the other side of the house because I just need to breathe. I can't even take a deep breath, but I don't feel like you're sucking the air right back out. So for short periods of times when you're going back and forth in daily life is fine. When it starts to linger into long lengths of time, we need to be aware and find some other ways for them to start getting, even if you have to open up like a channel of source energy that just is going straight through you over to them and protecting your own personal energy. So that way you start looping them in this other little energy circle over here. You have an energy field, or you can even loop it off to the side of your physical essence so that that channel keeps, you take their cord, you attach it to that channel instead of this channel, and let them loop through that way. They're going to feel a drop, but that's okay. They're going to have to start pulling it in themselves. So, and yeah, it's sustained living for people that pull off of other living people for their energy and for their soul essence to be empowered. They are literally living off of you. And you have to end up putting some boundaries in and handing them some tools of, look, I can't carry it. I'm depleting. And start channeling it off to another source, the resource, if that helps. But I can't. kind of like when you get, there's some people that you meet and you almost hesitate to shake their hand because it's like there's something just so going on there. You're like, "Ugh, they're gonna suck me dry within 2 minutes." Yeah, if that makes sense, Pat. So it's okay in times with your partner because you can back and forth the balance. When it gets into long term, you have to start doing some work for yourself and for your partner to enable your partner of picking up. Otherwise, when we do it long term, we become the enabler of that activity. You know, just like any kind of addiction, because they get addicted to it. And one of the best ways I've found is for with a partner is helping them to find something that is totally their realm that we know our partners. We know what sparks that energy flying up. And so that's a lot of times what you end up having to do is get them redirected into another passion of theirs that is separate from you, that you're not a participant in, and fuel that. And you can even send energy to it, to that project, not to the person, to the project, to the passion that draws them like a fly. That helps too. Hi, Gil. Nice to see you. And particularly trying to find something that is more takes a lot of energetic focus. That helps. It doesn't even need to be like a big project, but something that takes a lot of their mental and energetic focus will really help with that. And then they'll start building into it so that you're not having to do so much of the carrying the energy for both of you. Yes. So do we have any last questions? And there goes my little fan. Sorry about that. So I hope this helped to make sense of how you can integrate different forms of healing modalities, energetic modalities, and like I said, I do plan for healing to be a series that we're going to keep expanding on because my spirit team especially, and those I've connected with, are really, really excited for us. I'm excited for us. So as shitty as everything seems in the external view, we're gonna knock the shit out of this, and we're gonna do what we came to do, and we're not alone doing it. And it's not gonna cost us our heads. And we got this. We can do it together. So If you're still just tapping into what kind of energy fields you work with, explore. You just might be surprised. Go talk to a plant. Go hands-on healing. Check out Qigong. Qigong, Tai Chi. You don't need to go do karate chop. Do little energy balls. Pockets. So, thank you very much, guys, for joining in today. I really appreciate you all. For those of you who have been supporting my work and really being my cheerleaders and getting out here publicly and speaking and doing all these fun things. And keep your eyes out. There's going to be some more events coming up. I'm going to work on getting something put together to do a trance channeling to do with everybody. And again, if you have any ideas or discussions you would like brought to the table, please message me on my public page and we'll see what we can do about getting some of it brought out. Okay? You're not alone. You're not the only weirdo on the block. Love you. And many blessings.